Do you have a high salary and still end up saving almost nothing at the end of the month? Don't worry, you're not the only one with this problem. Now, most people blame this generation for not saving money. They call this generation careless, they say that they don't know the value of investing, and so on. But what if we don't try to look at this problem just at the surface level, but rather get to the root of the problem and figure out that why do people actually behave this way? By the way, I'm Sharan Mulchandani, a SEBI registered investment advisor, and today we look at the root cause of why people end up saving nothing at the end of the month. And in the end, we'll also look at how to tackle this problem and build wealth. So let's say a guy gets 80,000 rupees salary. Now, if you remove all the expenses, let's say rent, food, traveling, all of that, in the end, he's left with 40,000 rupees. Now, this guy has a choice to either invest that 40,000 or spend that 40,000. Now, when this guy chooses to spend that 40,000, this is an active choice that he's making. Now, one question that came in my mind is that why will someone actively choose an option which is actually harmful for them? Now, to arrive at the answer of this question, I tried to think that when in my life I've chosen an option which is actually more harmful to me. Even after knowing that it is harmful, I've still went ahead with that choice. Now, when I thought about it, I did come across one scenario from my childhood. In my childhood, I used to do skating and I used to participate in tournaments and races. Now, I was very average at that. I used to come maybe sometimes 6th, maybe 7th, and I used to feel nothing about it. I obviously did not feel happy coming 6th or 7th, but at the same time, I was also not depressed or sad that I'm coming 6th or 7th. But in skating, there is one thing that is called overlap. Now, overlap is basically when the leader of the race takes such a big lead that he gets ahead of another person by one complete lap. This is called an overlap. Now I remember that in these races, whenever I was on the verge of getting overlapped, just one moment before I'm about to get overlapped, I used to purposely fall down and quit the race, just so that I wouldn't get overlapped. Now this is exactly what is happening in the finance world right now. The prices of assets, for example a house, have gone so high that people feel that they are overlapped and they are never going to win this race. They think that पैसा बचा के क्या ही हो जाएगा, ना घर खरीद पाऊंगा ना कुछ और कर पाऊंगा, इससे अच्छा उड़ा ही देता हूँ. The guy that has 40,000 rupees at the end of the month thinks that there's no point saving this 40,000 rupees for the next 20 years. There will be no use case of this, so it's better I spend it now and enjoy my life right now. People are giving up on saving because it feels overwhelming. They think that it's better to lose now rather than investing for 20 years, doing each and everything which the influencers ask you to do, and in the end realize that it was not enough. Now I'll tell you two major scenarios in which this happens with people, and in the end we'll also discuss how we can tackle this and how we can change our mindset to invest and build wealth over a long period of time. Now, if you want to buy a house in Mumbai, let's say a decent 2 BHK, it would cost you somewhere around 1 to 1.5 crore. I'm not saying a luxury apartment, I'm talking about a very decent 2 BHK apartment in Mumbai. Now, even if you have a salary of 15 lakhs, which is a very good salary, now you realize that the cost of this house is almost 10 times of your annual income. You'll have to save for 10 years to be able to afford this house. Now, yes, your investments obviously will grow, but so will the price of this house. And there is no guarantee that the price of this house will appreciate slower than your investments. Now, for a moment, just forget about that. Just look at this from a perspective of today's time. Today, this house is worth 10 times of your annual income. This fact in itself is very demotivating. Now, you can do one thing. I'll not give you any numbers. You can go sit with your father or your grandfather and ask them that what was their average salary in 1980s or 1990s and what was the average price of a decent house back then. And you can figure out this multiple on your own. Ask them that how much did they earn and what was the price of the house that most people used to purchase in that time. You can get a rough average of that multiple and compare that multiple with today's multiple that we have. It is extremely demotivating to see that the prices of houses are 10 times, 15 times, at some places they are even 20 times your annual income. Even if you decide to take a loan, you realize that the EMI will be a significant part of your income. Now this scenario completely demotivates you to save any money. You see this big mountain in front of you and you realize that there is no way that I'm going to be able to climb that mountain, and you decide to absolutely quit climbing this mountain. You decide to walk away from it, and the 40,000 that you have left end up getting spent at places like buying new gadgets or buying new shoes. A similar thing happens when people try to scare you about the retirement fund. They come over a podcast and say that you'll be needing 40 crore for your retirement. Now, They might not be wrong, but the number that they are putting out there is for a person who probably spends 2 to 3 lakh rupees a month. But if you are not that person, if you are someone with a salary of 80,000 or 1 lakh or even 1.5 lakh, you look at this big number, 40 crore, and get completely demotivated. You realize that you will never be able to save this much amount of money till the time of your retirement, and you decide to completely abandon your investing journey just because at the very beginning you got scared by a number which was not even for you. You think that you will save for 30 years, you won't have 40 crore, and you won't have enough money for retirement. So what's the point of saving money? I'll rather spend it now and enjoy my life right now rather than saving anything for my retirement. Even in this scenario, you're standing in front of a mountain which is big enough to make you quit. Now the problem is that when you try to see your entire journey just from the starting point, you actually miss out on a lot of good things that can happen. Now you have a salary of 80k and you are scared that, oh, I'll not be able to buy a house with this salary, but you forget to incorporate the fact that your salary itself can increase in the coming years. Your salary increments will make it drastically easier for you to purchase the house. Not starting your investing journey just because you can't see these good things coming in your journey ahead doesn't make any sense. Forget about your salary increments. You don't even know that what you'll want 15 years down the line. What if 15 years later you say that I'm done with this city life and I don't want to live here anymore. I want to buy a house in my hometown or in some hill station. Now a house over there will not cost you 1.52 crores. You'll just be needing 60-70 lakhs for that house. But it should not happen that later you regret your decision of not saving any money when you were earning 80,000 and your goal was 2 crore. You stopped investing because you thought that your goal is out of reach, and 15 years later you don't even have 60-70 lakhs to buy the house in your hometown or in that hill station. There are so many things that can happen which you don't even know about. What if you find a business or a job that you absolutely love to do and would want to do that till the last day of your life? Now in this case, the whole concept of retirement goes out of the window. There is no need for you to retire because what you do is something which you absolutely love and are willing to do till the time you die. Now, what I'm trying to say is that giving up on a journey just because you think that you will not reach the end point doesn't make any sense because you don't know right now that what your end point is. Now, the solution to this is that rather than having big goals like having 40 crores, you should have micro goals. Meaning, at first, you should have small goals and let the snowball effect come into play. Basically, when you make a small snowball and let it roll down the hill, in its journey, it gets new experiences and moves forward and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So if you have a salary of 80k, don't think that you need 2 crores or 3 crores by end of 5 years. Try to save just 4 lakh rupees by the end of this year. Your goal should be that in the next 12 months, I need to save 4 lakh rupees. Now once you've reached this goal, then sit and decide that how in the next 12 months my corpus can grow to somewhere around 10 to 12 lakh rupees. In this way, your snowball or your corpus will start getting bigger and bigger and bigger as and when you move forward in your journey and have new experiences. These new experiences could be a new job, a higher salary, a city with lower expenses. You don't know what these experiences would be, but these experiences will come as and when they need to, and you need to just start your investing journey and allow these experiences to increase your snowball. The most important thing is that the purpose of your life is not to have a 3 BHK in Bandra or have 40 crore by the time you are 60. The purpose of your life is to be present in this very moment that you have right now. I'm not saying that abandon your investment journey, but what I'm trying to say is that the investment journey is a side character in your life and not the other way around. The moment you stop making money as the center of your life, it will ironically become much easier to accumulate more money. In this way, you'll enjoy your journey more, and each and every experience that occurs in your life, you'll be able to enjoy that experience much more freely. I keep making videos around finance which might help you in your investing journey, so do check out my other videos if you feel like. And if you like this type of content, please do subscribe. It helps a lot. So yeah, thanks for listening.